Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
And a lot of insanity.
3 snickering lunatics. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast for The Originals. Season 3, Episode 16, Alone with Everybody. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me is Nikki.
Hello.
And Dom.
How am I alone with everybody?
It's an oxymoron.
Like jumbo shrimp?
Yes, and Kim. She just realized that makes no sense.
So wait, Dom, does that mean you're never yourself?
Yes. Because I'm always hungry. Jumbo shrimp.
Mm-hmm. So our first episode after the short break, the mid-spring break, the episode that left us with the cliffhanger of Finn walking up the street to Cole eating somebody.
Wait, before we continue on, his reveal was amazing, but what they did with him this episode was just there was no climax to it. It was just anticlimactic. It was stupid. I mean, woo, Finn and Cole, they're gonna punch each other, and oh my god, brothers hate.
I mean, I like the explanation of how he came back.
Yes.
Yes.
Didn't we kind of figure he piggybacked on the spell? That's what we figured he was gonna do.
Yeah, we were kind of under that assumption, so.
Hey, we assumed right. Fuck, we could write this show. We just said that about Vampire Diaries.
Except we would bring aliens into the Vampire Diaries because it would make it so much more interesting.
I would answer the question of what happens to a werewolf if you put them on the moon.
You would answer the question or you would ask the question?
Both.
Huh.
Do you ever think about that? What would happen to a werewolf whose curse was already triggered if you put them on the moon?
They'd
Well,
die?
first off, they die because there's no oxygen.
No. Spacesuit and everything. You sent them to the moon like an astronaut or whatever.
Would you give them a spacesuit that is in the shape of a wolf or in the shape of a person?
I'm like, yeah, they're gonna change.
When would they change, though?
The whole time they'd just be stuck.
Only when the moon is full.
It's a good question. So anyway, Finn is back, and yeah, I kind of agreed with, what was it, Lucian's suggestion to just let them go at each other. It's not like they can actually kill each other.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, they can't.
I mean, there is a white oak bullet. So they could.
I mean, one of them can get their hands on a sword and chop the other's head off.
That wouldn't kill him.
Didn't we establish it doesn't work?
Yeah, we did establish that.
It's just they reattach. However the fuck that works.
But yeah, there is a white oak bullet that Vincent's dug up. That was immediately stolen from him
Yes.
by a mysterious blonde vampire.
I liked her.
Yeah, I liked her too, and I mean, she was working for, as she said, him.
Dun dun dun.
And I'm
I
thinking,
think at this point, only Klaus would know who the him is.
I think we figured out who the him was.
No, but I'm saying, like, at this point, I was
Oh,
thinking
right.
Klaus would be the only one who know who that him was.
Right, exactly. I mean, they kept it mysterious the whole episode, like him. If I tell you his name, I'm as good as dead, and all that other stuff. And I'm thinking, oh great, another mystery power villain who's showed up to fuck things over.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that. White oak bullet stolen. Vincent no likey. Vincent no happy. Bullet goes up for auction, which I honestly didn't see coming.
It was an interesting twist for
It
the
was
show.
It
It was almost too real.
Actually, yeah. It was very well thought out because I did not expect that at all.
I don't know, when I think of the black market, I don't literally think of an auction. I don't know why.
It was an auction on the dark web.
Yeah. I think of like, word of mouth. It's like you got to go track some guy down on the street to talk to him and buy it. Like I don't actually black market. I don't consider it being like a bid with a password and all this stuff online. Like
I loved the bids though, like a fleet of oil tankers. So I got a bit of fleet of oil tankers. I'm going to bid an island. Bidding this. And then Marcel wins, or so we see, it seems, with anything.
It was in Latin, right?
It was in Latin, and it basically meant, the way it was worded, it's anything, any one, like the winner can give any one command to the Strix that the entire organization will then follow.
Well, it wasn't. They weren't going under the Strix. They were going under that random guy that they took the code from.
Right.
So.
I mean, that's what they were going under, but the guy bidded, a favor from the Strix, basically.
Right.
And that was accepted, which apparently was part of his plan, whoever him is, which we know we'll get to later. Anyway, Bullet, they get back in their in their hands. Elijah goes to burn it. Big fight erupts. Finn tries to save it because Finn's a whiny bitch.
Because Finn wants to die. He doesn't want to be a vampire, let alone an original. But Davina locks him in, so he can't get his body transferred. That's why he wanted the bullet, because Davina had cursed him to be a vampire forever and ever and ever. There's no way
literally
locked
him in. There was a key.
Like
right there.
seared into
Burned
his flesh.
Mm-hmm.
I want one.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. But I mean,
I want one. Can somebody like scar up a key on my chest? That would be pretty cool.
I mean, before that though, Finn's whole plan, now that he's alive, he wants to be put into a witch's body, and he just wants to leave with Freya.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the question: would Freya just, peace out?
No, I don't think she would peace out unless there was dire straits. And at this point, yes, there are some things going on, but it's not super duper life and death. Like she has to go or people die. I mean, she chose to leave this time because she wanted to take the bullet away.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she would just up and leave Elijah and Cole and, I mean, if Klaus was still, I don't think she would, even though she kind of has some distaste for what they do. She's had that time to bond with them and actually see them for who they are instead of watching them from afar for a year at a time.
Yeah, but Finn is all expects her to up and leave. Like, come with me, sister. So Davina locks him in after Cole mentions this. Like, ooh, what's the one way I can help my boyfriend? Fuck over her brother.
Yep.
That he hates. And yeah, now Finn realizes, shit, I'm locked in this body. I want a way out. I want a way out. Don't destroy the bullet!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was surprised Elijah actually saved the bullet.
I was too. I would kind of have expected Elijah to just be like, no.
He should have. He should have just been like,
Yeah.
no. I
But
mean,
you
if
almost-
Klaus were there, there would have been no second thought. He
Oh, no.
would have
Oh,
gotten
yeah.
rid of it.
Oh, exactly. There would have been no second thought. Klaus would have made sure of it. If Elijah didn't do it, Klaus would have done it.
Yep.
And Klaus would have probably, if Finn made that protest, Klaus would have probably put it in a gun and shot Finn on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a high chance too.
Which I would have so appreciated.
I think a lot of people would appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. But,
Colin, and for the most part.
yeah. I like that Lucian, kind of played it all. Like, he had the bullet in his hand in the compound with all of them, and he just hands it off to Elijah. Like, yep, all suspicion off of me. Nobody suspects a thing. Not at all.
He's playing them all.
Oh, of course he's
so good because Klaus is not there.
right.
I mean, he was Klaus for how long?
He was Klaus for 100 years.
Yeah.
He's gotten pretty good at it.
And he
Yeah.
was Klaus's number one.
For a long time, yeah.
Klaus's first sired for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
now... Yeah. So Lucian is the him. He's the one who hired the blonde.
He's also the him that's still hunting werewolves, we find out as well.
Right. So let's get over to Klaus, who we did actually see this episode. I mean, between the Vampire Diaries and the originals, everything, it was kind of teased like when Caroline went, to New Orleans 3 years in the future. It's like, I'm looking for Klaus Mikealson. Nobody's seen him for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Or in New Orleans hasn't seen him in 3 years.
right, exactly. So Klaus, Haley, and Hope, they wind up in a place that apparently Haley spent some time when she was growing up. Hell, it may even be where Haley is originally from.
They seem to know her quite well, so.
Exactly. They seem to know her very well around there. It might just be her old pack, or it could be where she was born.
See, and it always gets me all messed up because the first time I ever saw the actress, she was playing a witch on the other
Secret
CW
Circle.
show, the Secret Circle.
Mhm.
So whenever I'm trying to, because it was a very similar style show to like the originals and the Vampire Diaries. Whenever I'm trying to think of what she was doing before she appeared as a werewolf, I instantly picture her being a witch, and I'm like, hey, that's not.
Nope, wrong show.
Get the
Wrong show.
headcanon out of there. So it's nice to be able to see more of Haley's early side here.
Kudos to the actress, because those were two radically different characters.
Yeah.
No, they were not.
At least the bits I saw.
Haley started out the same way her character in Secret Circle started out with.
That is true.
Complete
Right
bitch.
now they are very
Alright.
Now
different.
they're different.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
there's time for Haley's character to grow since then. So now she's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I only watched one episode of that show. What I saw was very different.
She played Faye Chamberlain on that show.
So they are in a place where they all know Haley. They are getting served the finest of moonshine. The baby drinks for free. Because, sure.
Why not?
Let's give a baby moonshine. Why not? But they find out that wolves are
Not
disappearing.
moonshine, but they in Italy and stuff, they give babies a little bit of wine and stuff on the tip of the
For teething.
It's just for teething and to kind of put them to sleep a little bit. Not to get them drunk, but
Just to relax them.
yeah.
Yep. It was been a common practice for hundreds of years, if not thousands.
Baby could drink for free.
So they find out that wolves are going missing in this area too, which it seems to be a common thing. Wolves are going missing everywhere. And a little girl that Haley used to babysit, not so well, Haley thinks she's 9, actually 15. Way to keep track of time.
She's been through a lot. Give her a little slack.
She defended
The Secret
herself.
Circle did a number on her.
I know, right? So we don't know if this... Did we find out if this was, orchestrated by Lucian somehow, or it was just a freak accident? Like, some guy robbed a convenience store and she defended herself, wound up killing him.
I think that it was just an accident. That's the way that the bartender explained it.
Right.
If there was an explanation later on with Lucian even coming clean or whatever, or Klaus connecting the dots, I missed it.
Yeah, I would have missed it.
It was
too.
so
That's
quick,
why
I
I was
missed it.
asking.
I'm thinking if it's going to be something that's going to play down the line, but it seems a little weird. I don't know. I think it was just an accident.
But yeah, so convenience store gets robbed, 15-year-old girl defends herself, winds up killing the guy. Wolf curse triggered. That's gotta suck.
Well, I mean, being a werewolf in this universe sucks in general.
It's a curse.
Yeah.
And not a nice one.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you were defending yourself, it was an accident, whatever. You kill someone, you're cursed. Which is not fair. But that's the way it works.
So, yeah, Haley's gonna help her through it. In any way she can.
And I'm so glad that Klaus came around. Because he was
yeah.
being a major dick about it.
Yeah. He kinda was. So, Klaus comes around to it, and he notices, what is it, Kingfisher? What is Lucian's company? King something or other?
Whatever company it is. It's
But yeah,
Lucian's.
he sees Lucian's company's sign in the woods and realizes he's still abducting werewolves.
Yeah, it's not even killing them. They're just going missing. So yeah, maybe he's just abducting them.
Right. So we still don't know what Lucian wants with all those werewolves. And he's up to some dastardly tricks. And he's now the big major villain. Which...
We're time to bring in another big villain. Like I think this. I mean, though technically he was like quiet in the background this whole time.
I mean, yeah, he's always been up to something since they introduced him, but
Like,
maybe this was the long con, basically.
he seemed to be coming in as a villain in the beginning of the season, and then they made, Tristan and Aurora as, like, the two,
It's because they're crazier
they
than
were,
he is.
yeah, they were far crazier.
Now, is Freya really surprised by all this, or do you think she's been in on it?
I
I
want to
think
say she's surprised.
she didn't like him, but he's charming. And, I don't think she's ever had that chance to have another person love her other than her brother. Because she's like, her mother and her aunt or whatever, that wasn't real love. And then she gets into her actual family and they care for her, so she gets that. But he's an outside source.
Mm-hmm.
She's never had that before, so it's probably taking her by surprise, probably sweeping her off her feet just a tiny bit. So, yeah, I think she was surprised.
I'd give it that, yeah. She was definitely surprised when Vincent, kidnapped her for Lucian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
After Vincent had one hell of a nasty vision from the ancestors that basically told him to help Lucian.
I don't think it's the ancestors.
I don't think so either.
I don't think it's the ancestors.
I mean, in the vision, one of the clearest images from the vision was the painting of Elijah. So we know that Elijah is Lucian's target. Well, we can infer that Elijah's the target.
Well, I mean, Lucian's not connected to Klaus anymore. It's going to be easy to eradicate the opposing bloodlines because he's not connected to anything anymore. He doesn't have to worry about Klaus getting into the mix and accidentally getting killed, and then he's dead.
Right, so basically, I mean, yeah, the whole thing was, I can take care of myself, I can defend myself, but I can't 100% guarantee Klaus's safety.
He's got to step his game up.
He really does.
He does. Yeah, to get an upper hand over Elijah, even if Elijah wasn't connected to all his
He's
little
he's
dudes.
got to even the playing field.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he's going to be able to pull that off.
I think he's going to be able to get really damn close.
Really damn close.
Yeah. But that's about what happened this episode, I think. Did I miss anything? Oh, we didn't talk about Cole, the fact that he's going straight up rage mode again.
Hmm.
He's really hungry.
He's really hungry.
I get that. I'm really hungry right now. So I know what he's going through.
Yeah, he's
But
not
he-
himself.
He fessed up to it, so he didn't.
Yeah.
He's not keeping it secret. And
Right.
though I thought he almost bit freaking.
He was so close to getting Davina. He
Yeah.
wanted to. He was just hungry. It was like the thirst came over, and it wasn't Davina in his arms. It was just prey, and then he snapped out of it.
I don't know. Davina looked all hot and bothered. I think she liked it.
Well, she only thought he was gonna give her smooches.
Yeah, she was like, ooh, sexy time with my boyfriend, and he's just like,
I'm so
Dinner.
hungry.
yeah. He fesses up though, but like, he's saying it's worse this time around.
Well, like I think we discussed this before the break.
We may
He's
have.
basically a new vampire again, even though he's an original and he's
Fresh
he's
body.
he's fresh, and we all know that the lust, the hunger, the just wanting to feed all the time because you need to, because you can't control it, is really really strong in a new vampire, and he was always kind of,
Lacking on the impulse control.
yeah, he didn't have very much control to begin with, so this is hitting him really hard.
Draven in chat says, "Give him a Snickers."
Yeah,
Davina,
Snickers
that's a great idea.
full of blood.
A Snickers full of blood.
Blood Snickers.
Blood Snickers.
What ingredient would you replace in a Snickers to add the blood?
You just let it clot up a little bit. And,
Oh,
They let it clot up and have it replace the peanuts.
bone throw.
No, let it clot up and it'll be gooey. Replace the caramel.
I was thinking the caramel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it congeals really well and almost to the consistency of. Yeah, I like it.
Next episode. is called Behind the Black Horizon. And we actually, if you watch the promo, you immediately get what Lucian's plan is.
Mm-hmm.
When it is discovered that Freya has been kidnapped and is in the hands of a dangerous new threat, aka Lucian, the Mikealson brothers are forced to put aside their differences in order to save her before it's too late. Following a lead that brings them to Mystic Falls, Elijah and Finn run into Deputy Matt Donovan, who does not take well to new vampires in his town. Yeah, what's he going to do about it? Meanwhile, Klaus and Haley work together to uncover the motive behind one of Lucian's secret agendas, while a troubling shift in Cole's behavior leaves Davina concerned for their future together. Fun fact, Joseph
Question.
Morgan, a.k.a. Klaus, directs this next episode coming up.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
They're all getting their hands into directing now. That's
He's
so
directed.
awesome.
He has directed a couple of other episodes of the originals. I think one. I know one last season for sure, and maybe another one this season.
But I think this is a juicy tidbit. Wasn't Matt the one who killed Finn the first time around?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
So this is going to be an interesting, awkward moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you're back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to kill you again. Not sure how.
And it's interesting that they're using Matt to cross over because
Yeah.
even with all the things that are happening with him over on the Vampire Diaries, I still think he's a very dumbed down character. He's not exactly stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
We assumed, I'm saying assumed again, that he was going to be a bigger character in this arc in the Vampire Diaries, but he's not.
Right now,
Matt's the token human.
here's the other tricky part. In the Vampire Diaries, aren't we 3 years ahead of the timeline of the originals right now?
Yes, we are. So
Yeah.
this is back in Mystic Falls when nobody we know is there. It's still like in the clutches of the remnants of Julian's vampire horde.
Yeah.
Or whatever remains of that vampire horde.
They kind of, kept themselves inside the boundaries of the town. They never really went into the forest.
Right.
They never really talked about that.
Well, anyway.
Unless I'm trying to think. Is the 3-year jump we saw in the future was only Caroline going to Mystic Falls and Stefan going there, right?
You mean
No, it's
Caroline
just Caroline.
going to New
Yeah,
Orleans?
That was the
New
only.
Orleans with the kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was only Caroline.
Yeah.
So maybe we're not 3 years in the future in the Vampire Diaries. Maybe the timeline is still intact.
I mean, it could be when around the whole Reyna era, like when she came out, because she wasn't really, walking around when Julian was there.
Did she have her sword when we saw her in
Yes.
in New Orleans?
Yes.
When she attacked the Strix?
Because
Yes.
Aya
Yeah.
had a mark on her.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So unless her sword is going to get reformed somehow, we'll have to wait and see.
I think they're still.
I think the originals, there was no
Still
time
behind.
jump. They're still behind.
Yeah, it does
It's
cause
going
a
to make
little
for
bit of confusion.
interesting, yeah. So we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But yeah.
Right. Anyway, if you watch the actual promo, he's got Lucian and Freya in the woods in Mystic Falls, and he says, he's like, I have all the ingredients, this, that, and Vincent looks at him and goes, you want to become an original.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mystic Falls was where the originals became originals. It makes sense to go back to the place where it all started.
Right. And to respond to that, Lucian says, I'm thinking of something more like an upgrade.
How could you, like, invincible?
Like, how do you upgrade from an original vampire?
Stronger.
Wait, maybe he wants to be an original vampire and a hybrid now too. Maybe that's why he's taking all these werewolves in.
That's probably a good portion of it. He probably wants to be a hybrid like Klaus.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, that is a good one. I mean, he did.
He's already been Klaus. Now he wants to become Klaus.
That would answer. Like, we know he has a cure for werewolf venom.
Yeah.
Like a cure we haven't seen or know nothing about. Probably figured it out while researching werewolves to make himself a hybrid.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Well then, that's going to be a really interesting show.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Mm-hmm. Anything else, guys and gals?
No.
Nope.
All right. So that's our show. Nikki, where can they find you?
On Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
How about you, Dom?
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, Phenomedom.
And Kim?
On Twitter's at HUFFITY,
You can find me on Twitter at Thilladrin right there. You can find all of us on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. You can follow us there for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Doop-de-doo.